So I made this cart using Pybricks and the Lego Essential Hub and the Lego Essential motors. So I have the two motors that come with the Lego Essential kit. One's for steering and one is for power, and just the Lego Essential Hub as well. The reason why I did this was because there aren't any tutorials out there on how you can build using Pybricks a cart or a little RC car. So here's a couple of stills of the car itself, specifically where the gears connect, and a couple of interesting things. But hopefully you can find this helpful if you're trying to get the most out of your essential kit. This post is how we steer. You gotta slide that right in the center like that, plug that in, and then we take it over to our car, and the long post goes right in the motor, and then this bumper keeps it from moving too much. Pretty simple. The gears, just get an axle right along that motor, and you get that right against there. So when the gear of the motor turns, your axle turns. This is just held in place with, I have two of these rectangles. That's the 4 by 1, 2, 3, 5, I guess. Whatever this one is on the bottom. Right? And in order to get those in, I use these pieces here. They're the extra long posts because you need to be able to go through one into the next. Right? So that's how it's holding that there, like that. And I've got them on this side too. Right? And not only is it holding that into that, it's also holding the two rectangles together. And that's pretty much it. It's not that complicated of a device. Okay, so here we go. We are going to build the code that's going to power this cart. So we're going to go to Setup, and from Setup, we're going to select the Essential Hub, because that's the one I want to use. Put that right in there. I'm going back to Setup again, and then we are going to look for this motor on A with forward, right, like that. So we're going to connect that like a little Lego brick, all right, and we got to flip that to port A because I only have A and B, right? So we're going to call this move. How's that? There we go. So move on A forward with that. Good. All right, now I'm going to click this, Control C, Control V. I have two. And we're going to call this one, steering. All right, and steering on port B with forward. Good. All right, now I need to go to Setup again, and we need to find the car with steering and drive. So here we go, car with steering, motor, and drive. That's what I want. So click that, and I connect that here. Car with steering. So steering should be steering, and drive should be move. Good. And now this popped up because those are the two things that I renamed that to here. So last thing we're going to do is go back here and to set up and find the controller. And I'm going to connect that there. And there is the controller. So this part of the conversation is pretty good. All right, next thing we want to do, and I'm getting a little warning here because I have another code on the right side of my screen. You don't have to worry about that. You're not going to see that as long as you're not duplicating things. All right, so that's all good. Next thing we want to do is create something with flow. We're going to go to repeat while. So here we have repeat while true, and we're going to connect that to the program. And the next thing we got to do is go into the output section, And we're looking for one that says motor drive at. All right, so let's see. Motor power at, no. Car. I'm sorry, maybe car. All right. Car drive at, power 50%. All right, this is what we're looking for. So under car drive at, power 50%. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to put that in here, right? And then car 2 drive power at 50% is not what we want. So we are going to go into input again, and we are looking for a different icon that's going to indicate the controller. Here we go, controller. So we're going to replace that with this 50%. We're going to replace that with this little controller. And we're going to say controller. And let me move this over so you can see. I'm going to change that to right joystick vertical. I like steering with the right. So I'm sorry, I like power with the right. So power on this means power is going to be up and down on the right joystick. All right, now we need to grab, oops, I seem to have lost, there it is. Let's leave that at that. Hang on, we'll move this over. Let's leave that at that size for you. All right, so now I have car 2, drive at, power, controller 2, right joystick, vertical. We're going to go to output, and we need to go to car and steer by. So it's this one right here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to replace that 0% with, we need to change that to controller. And we're going to change steer by to left joystick horizontal. So when I go left and right, the car will steer left and right. And the last thing that you want to add is this little wait by milliseconds. It keeps the hub from getting overwhelmed. So we're just going to add a little wait by 2 milliseconds, more stuff. So this is the code that you're going to run. And then you'll go up to the Bluetooth icon here, you'll hit it, you'll find your hub, and then you'll sync your hub and the Xbox controller in pairing mode at the same time. And then it should be happy and everything should start working.